They say every small town hides its secrets. Some are harmless, like family feuds or whispered affairs. But every once in a while, a secret grows darker, until it becomes a shadow cast across the lives of everyone who lives there. This is the story of a man who became such a shadow, a figure the locals came to call the Whispering Man. It began in the late 1992 in a quiet Midwestern town that, at the time, hardly anyone outside of the county had ever heard of. The kind of place with two diners, one gas station, and a single stretch of highway that cut through the endless fields. People left their doors unlocked. Kids rode their bikes at dusk without fear. Until the whispers began. The first disappearance was almost forgettable. A drifter named Alan Meyer, 32 years old, last seen at the truck stop just outside town. Locals assumed he moved on, as drifters often do. But the cook at the truck stop swore Alan seemed unsettled that night. He kept turning around, the cook later recalled, like someone was standing behind him, but there was no one there. Before he left, he leaned close and said, "Do you hear it too?" The cook laughed it off at the time. A week later, Alan Meyer was gone. By the following spring, a pattern emerged. A schoolteacher, a farmer, a teenage girl on her way back from choir practice. Different ages, different lives, no connection between them except for one thing. In the days before they vanished, each of them reportedly told someone that they had heard a voice, a whisper, sometimes in the corner of their room, sometimes in the empty aisles of the grocery store, sometimes calling their names softly from the woods at night. At first, the police dismissed it as rumor, the town's way of rationalizing a series of unrelated tragedies. But then came the notes. Folded slips of paper began appearing at the sheriff's office. Some were slipped under the door overnight. Others were found tucked beneath windshield wipers of patrol cars. They were always typed, always unsigned. Short sentences. Strange. Disjointed. They follow because they are called. I collect what others throw away. You will never hear me until it is too late. Locals whispered about a man who lived on the outskirts of town in an abandoned farmhouse. Others claimed it was an outsider passing through, someone who only appeared when darkness fell. But no one had a clear description. Witness accounts contradicted each other. Some said he was tall. Others swore he was short. Some claimed he wore a hood, while others insisted they saw his face, a face so ordinary it was unforgettable. As the years passed, the legend of the Whispering Man grew. Children dared each other to walk past the old farmhouse at night. Parents warned their kids not to stay out after dark. Yet the police never made an arrest. They never even had a suspect. In 2004, a breakthrough seemed possible. A hunter stumbled upon a shallow grave deep in the woods, half a mile from the highway. Inside were personal belongings, a watch, a set of keys, and a faded photograph of a young woman smiling. But the body was gone. Only the belongings remained, laid out carefully, almost ceremonially, as if someone had taken the time to display them. The sheriff called it a message. And still, the whispers continued. Those who claimed to hear the voice described it in eerily similar ways. It was never loud, never aggressive. It was intimate, close, almost caring, like someone leaning in to share a secret. Survivors, the few who heard it but never vanished, spoke of waking up in the night, paralyzed, unable to move, while the whisper traced their name in the dark. Some psychologists believe the Whispering Man was more than a person. They argue he became a collective fear, an idea that spread from one anxious mind to another. That the disappearances, while real, were simply crimes of opportunity, murders committed by someone ordinary, while the myth grew larger than the man himself. But others aren't so sure. In 2011, long after the last recorded disappearance, A new note appeared. This one slipped beneath the glass door of a library, on a night when the security cameras had mysteriously failed. It read, "Do not mistake silence for absence. I am patient. I am always here. And when you hear your name, you will follow." The handwriting analysis suggested it was typed on an old manual typewriter, one no longer manufactured. Experts traced similar ink to a machine made in the 1972nd, but no typewriter was ever found. The town has tried to move on. New families moved in, old ones moved away. The fields remain quiet, the diner still serves coffee at sunrise, and the gas station still sells lottery tickets by the counter. But ask the older residents, and they'll tell you, the shadows are not the same. The nights feel heavier. And sometimes, when the wind passes through the cornfields just right, they swear they can still hear it. A whisper, soft and low, calling a name that doesn't belong to them. Who was the whispering man? A real predator, or a phantom born of fear? Perhaps both, perhaps neither. What we know is simple. People vanished. Their families never saw them again. And somewhere, someone or something knows why. Until then, the whispering man remains where he has always been, just out of sight, just out of reach, waiting for the moment when the silence is broken again.